Shalom. Call Haloyamla, Yahapwa, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Racha Kwadash. Brakata Yahapwa, Brakata Yahawashai, Brakata Racha Kwadash. Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Racha Kwadash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders in the Akim Wa Akwath. Shalom. I want to go into a quick video. I'm going to just touch on the precepts. Got a good amount. Going to go ahead and get right to it, but video's entitled, Esau's Judgment Day and Yahawashi's Return. So they're going to coincide one another simultaneously. Esau getting judged and the Messiah Yahawashi's return to redeem the elect of so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. That's what's facing us in these last days. We right here at the turn of 2020s, as I guess you could say prophesied. I said that I had a feeling from the Most High, an unction from the Most High, from the Spirit, told me that these 20s is like in the 1920s. It was called the decade of the 1920s was called the Roaring 20s, when they were like advancing and stuff in music and I believe what the Industrial Revolution. And so these days in these end times, the 2020s is going to be a new Roaring 20s, and it's going to be the Roaring 20s to bringing in the end of this society and the kingdom of heaven. It's going to come to a roaring end in the 2020s of this decade. So we'll go ahead and start here. The Most High is long suffering, and He's only allowing wickedness from Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, to perpetuate, because He's allowing their rap sheet to build and then tear them down with the judgment. And it'll be no one can gainsay, and the Most High's intense wrath and fiery indignation will be totally justified when he does bring down His judgment. That's about to happen according to prophecies pretty soon here. So Genesis chapter 4 and verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And that's what the so-called white man is. He's a vagabond and a fugitive. And so we can go ahead and get these definitions real quick for fugitive. A person who has escaped from a place or is in hiding, especially to avoid arrest or persecution. So we know in the similar words right here, escapee. So Esau, he's escaping. He escaped those caves and had the Renaissance and whitewashed everything, and he changes up his name every so often. He changes his identity. So that's why the so-called white race over here in America look the exact same as those in Europe, and the exact same as those in Russia and throughout the four corners of the earth, but they all go by different names. Why? Because he's a fugitive and he escapes his natural identity, which is the Esau Edomites. But Cain, this was talking about Cain here, but Cain is the regeneration. Esau is the regeneration of the spirit of Cain, regenerated. When you look at that, the contrasting and comparison of Cain and Abel, Abel represented good and Cain represented evil. And the same thing in Rebekah's womb, and when they were born, Jacob is the good, the righteous, the plain, which the word plain means perfect. He was perfect according to the commandments. And then Esau was the wicked. He was he was a very opposite, or the word antithesis, meaning the very opposite of righteousness. So when it's going to this word vagabond, a person who wanders from place to place without a home or job. So that's Esau Edom. He wanders around. He goes into everybody else's borders. Everywhere he's at right now is not his natural homeland. It's Petra over there over there in the east. The neighbors of Judah over in Jerusalem toward the south. So when you look up the Google images of Petra, The architecture they carve into the rocks, the same architecture of over there in Washington D.C. That's their natural, that's their original homeland, but they are on everybody's lands, stealing, killing, and destroying, and dealing drugs and everything. So from there we'll go to Habakkuk. And that fugitive and vagabond, he escapes judgment only because the Most High is allowing it. He's allowing Esau to build up his rap sheet for the judgment in the end. And then he's a vagabond, meaning he's wandering to and from. He's not in his own homeland. And that's how you know who Esau Edom is today. That's how you know who Cain is, the cursed man, and who he would be, his cursed seed and descendants. So we'll go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. In these times, this is the only thing that matters right now, is prophecy and the impending judgment, because prophecy is the most important thing always, so you'll know so you'll know what destination to walk down to, so you know your destination and the prophecies of what's going to occur. You want to walk uprightly so that the prophecies will be favorable for you when the Messiah returns. So with everything going on, prophecy is screaming loud, and that's the most important thing to focus on and to know what's coming, so you can have that comfort in these troublous times that's coming. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, also, because he transgresseth by wine, and that's his philosophies, he's sinning through his wicked philosophies according to his own dark carnal mind. He is a proud man. No one is more proud than the so-called white race. Everything is in pride. Neither keepeth at home, and that's that vagabond. He's not in his natural borders, his borders that the Most High gave him from the beginning. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. Everywhere he goes, nothing but death follows, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's the great melting pot, known as Babylon the Great, so-called America, as they glorify being a melting pot of all nations here in so-called Americas. That's that vagabond and fugitive that he is. So that's another key strike, proving who Esau Edom and who Cain and the regeneration is, the cursed people of the Lord. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So coming down and sitting in the dust, meaning come sit down from your high place of rulership. You won't have any more kingdom. Sit on the ground. And the daughter of Babylon, this is Babylon the Great. This is the daughter of Babylon, of the ancient Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And I've gone into the Chaldeans in previous videos. The Chaldeans is the ancient Chaldeans was the capital of the magicians, the astrologers, the magicians that work and the diviners, familiar spirits on the left hand side, working through Satan with the satanic demonic energy from Satan. And that's the sorcery and witchcraft and the spells cast from the Chaldeans then in those times. And it's the same thing today with the Hollywood and movies and music. Everybody's on the spells under the modern day Chaldeans to do wickedly under and here in Babylon the Great. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Everyone thought that their ways was the great way to be and to live and enjoy the ways in which the so-called white man has told everyone to live by. So it's their time to sit in the dust. They've had their time in the sun, they had their time in the rain, but now it's time to bring them down. Thus saith the Lord. So Psalms 137. In verse 7, it's the daughter of Babylon, proving that it's Esau Edom. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, and that's a word meaning tear it down, They was chanting and cheerleading the ancient Babylonians when they was taking down the southern kingdom in the ancient times, around 500, 600 BC. Yeah, once you get the word race, to be bare, be nude, uncover, leave destitute, discover, empty, race, pour out, to bear, lay bare, to lay bare by emptying, to make naked, strip. Basically, so to destroy. They were cheering on the Babylonians to destroy us, and this is King David telling, asking the Lord, telling the Lord, please, to remember the children of Edom. Verse 7 again. Remember, O Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. So tear it down to the foundation, empty it. O daughter of Babylon. So in verse 7 it says the children of Edom, and then in the very next verse, O daughter of Babylon, it lets you know that Edom is the daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. And we know Galatians 6 and 7 says the Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sowed, that shall he also reap. So they're going to reap the same. And verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. And this was prophecy as well, because remember the Trail of Tears. Andrew Jackson, the president of America at that time, back in the day, when they forcibly removed the Native Americans from their lands and was transporting them to the reservations and the barren lands, the lands that are destitute of resources. And whenever the line was getting held up, he would go and he grabbed children and by the feet and bashed their heads up against trees. So it's going to happen to them as their reward for rewarding us that way. So going to Isaiah 47 and verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. This is the Messiah, Yahawashi, speaking. And we know that the word is Yahawashi. The whole book of the Bible, he says what? I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. So this is the Messiah here in this instance for sure. He will not meet them as a man. He's going to meet Esau Edom as in his full glory and his spiritual power that the Most High gave him for finishing the work and finishing his course and sacrificing his life for his sins and then the sins of the Israelites. And then you can look that verse up, for his sins first and then for the Israelites as well. That's another topic. But so thy nakedness shall be uncovered. So when you're covered up, like if you have secrets, you have things that you may not want someone to know, because it'll bring shame. You'll be ashamed of it. So all of the things that he do in secrecy, the Most High is going to uncover it, and then he's going to be. That's how he's going to be ashamed, and his shame shall be seen. All of his wickedness, and he's being revealed right now. Esau Edom. This is all coming down. This is all leading up to that great judgment day, great judgment that he has coming in the future. Here that looks like it's going to be soon, according to the prophecies. And so from there we'll go to Psalm 64, because everything right now, he's been doing everything in secrecy, the shadow government, so-called Illuminati. Psalm 64 and 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. That's Esau Edom, chiefly, and first and foremost is Esau Edom, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, because everything they work it brings forth death and destruction and sin. Verse 3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And this is in particular talking about slanderous words through the media and everything else. They've been slandering the Israelites from day one. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they shoot at him and fear not. So they don't care about slandering the Israelites. That's all they do. They're the ones that's the wicked, doing all the wickedness, and then they blame us. They put the the stigma of that they the stigma that they should have for their wickedness. They wickedly place on us, and that's that sorcery and witchcraft that's on the people. They everyone look at us like we're the wicked, when the people that's destroyed us are the ones that's wicked. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Snares are traps. Privily means privately. They commune of laying traps privately. They say, who shall see them? So they're thinking that they won't be seen. But the Most High sees. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Sirach chapter 23 and verse 19. From there we'll go to Luke chapter 12. Well, let's go ahead and get that right quick. I had quoted it, but we'll go ahead and get it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 and 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So the wicked, Esau, Edom, they think that they're being cloaked in their secrecy, in their secret councils, but the Most High the angels are recording everything, and the Most High sees it all. The angels of the Lord sees it all, and he's going to be revealed in the end. So Luke chapter 12 and verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So we know chiefly that's Esau, Edom, the ones that do all the wickedness through they're hiding in the wings, and they put forth things, and people in the media everywhere, they're merely just puppets for the shadow elite that's running everything. From there we'll get Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I said that Esau is being revealed. There's videos, people even their own people are exposing their government and the wicked elites. And first and foremost, the Most High and through Yahawashi blessing the elect to awake, the hopeful elect to awake and be called into the truth, and putting videos out like this, and filtering everything through the scriptures first and foremost. And then there's other people, other nations, and so-called white people that put videos up as well that expose just the carnalities, but they don't filter it through the scriptures. And that's what we do first and foremost, what we must do first and foremost: prophesy. So Jeremiah 49 and 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. Yeah, his seed is spoiled because they are the only nation that don't have melanin, and then they don't have coordination, really, rhythm. Most can't dance. They're not really that great in sports and stuff. They're not too intellectually inclined. So, they're spoiled at every level. And spiritually, they don't understand things spiritually. They try to in their pride, but they can't really, they don't understand. They can't understand spiritual things. And so the Most High have spoiled the seed of the Edomite, so-called white race. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So everything is coming to a head here, leading up to his judgment. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And that wicked has a capital W, meaning it's a particular man that's of the wicked of the earth. And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, walking behind Satan. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's the prophets and the teachers, filtering everything through the scriptures and prophesying against Esau Edom, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that's when Yahawashi the Messiah returns. So it shows you right there, that's a sequence of events. After the prophesying of the prophets and the teachers, then the Messiah, and these, once these words destroy and reveal Esau Edom for the wicked that he is, then the Messiah is going to return once the elect awakes to the prophesying of the elect through the Most High, calling them into that calling to wake up the elect in the name of Yahawashi. So from there we'll get Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, and that word vision means prophecy, the prophecy of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord, the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, concerning Edom, the so-called white race. So this chapter is only one chapter long, but it's concerning the so-called white race and their demise and judgment in the end for their wickedness. And it's one of my favorite chapters. It's only one chapter long, but it's a very, very good chapter. Pinpoints Esau Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So this chapter is about Esau Edom. Just wanted to get the context of that. Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's that shame from being revealed now. And the violence that Esau Edom just commits, nonstop. He's now being revealed, and his violence is starting to be brought out. And he's finally being attached to Esau Edom, to who his true identity is, to what his true identity is. He's the Edomites, and he's been doing nothing but killing us because he has a perpetual hatred, a infinite hatred towards us. He's never done anything good for us. He's just a cancer, and a virus to us. So shame is going to cover him for that after he gets exposed for it, and he will be cut off forever, meaning he won't exist anymore. In verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So right here in this context, Jacob is representing the southern kingdom, and the house of Joseph, because Joseph, the Ephraimites, they were the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So this is talking about the southern and northern kingdom when they come back together in the last days right now in America and throughout the four corners, awakening to the truth. And then, when they delivered, and then Esau's final judgment after he served his slavery for all of his wickedness. So, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And so what happens with stubble? What is stubble? Something that got caught up in fire, and it's the end result of fire consuming whatever got caught up in that fire. So that's what's going to be the house of Esau, the nation of Esau Edom, the so-called white race, for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. So that lets you know that I'm not saying that the Most High has, and let's finish it off. It says, for the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, hath spoken it. The Most High spoke this, not me. So the Most High say that there will be no more people remaining of the so-called white race, the Edomites, Esau Edom, and there should not be any more remaining. That's them going to be cut off forever because of their violence against their brother Jacob. So they're going to be cut off with that fire. So when you go into this word stubble, hold on, let me go this way. Stubble, chaff. So what is chaff? I've gone into that in prior videos. The husk of corn or other seed separated by winnowing or threshing. So go into the word winnowing. They blow a current of air through in order to remove the chaff. Blow. So that goes into blowing the chaff away, blowing them away with thermonuclear missiles, and then also that besom of destruction, that broom sweeping them away, and then also because we know America, the main missiles are going to hit over here in America, and then there's still going to be Edomites, but they're going to be the military is going to be destroyed of the Russians and all of their allies after they destroy America. And then they got to go into captivity. The citizens, they're going to go into captivity. Yahawashi is going to destroy Gog and Magog, the Russians, and all of their allies. And then after that, they got to go serve slavery. The citizens, the Edomites that are left, they're going to serve slavery for approximately 1,000 years. Because most I say rewarding to her double. And we've been over here 400, 500 years, so they're going to serve 1,000 years slavery. And then that bonfire we read in Obadiah 1 and 18 to finish off the Edomites. So that's what's going to happen. That chaff, that blowing away is going to be America getting blown away with that wind or that fire, thermonuclear fire from the missiles, that mushroom cloud after it hits. And in Psalms 1 and 3, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Verse 4 says, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. And that's that thermonuclear fire, and it's that chaff. And Esau was that stubble in Obadiah 1 and 18. Was when you went to that word stubble, goes into chaff, being blown away. And we went to that. And what can blow away the people? Going to blow away is going to be that wind or that fire. It's going to sweep over like a wind over the land once the thermonuclear missiles hit. So Esau Edom going to be like a chaff, the chaff which the wind driveth away, that thermonuclear wind. From there we go to Isaiah 24 and verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. So when those thermonuclear missiles hit, it's going to be so many missiles hitting. So the tectonic plates, is going to be so much trauma. It's going to cause great earthquakes. It's going to be a great quake, and the continent is going to reel to and fro. And it even says the islands shall remove out of her place. So it's going to be very violent because there's going to be so many massive, powerful thermonuclear missiles hitting the earth. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it. Because the sin right now is very heavy on the earth. For wickedness doeth exceedingly pollute the earth. And it got to be cleansed, and the way it's going to get cleansed from this, the worst pollution ever of the wickedness of the people, is by the thermonuclear fire. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And that goes to the Most High say that they will build, but I will throw down. Malachi 1 and 3 or 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And that's that throwing down right there, they won't be built back up ever again. They shall build, they colonize the earth, but the Most High going to throw it down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So the Esau Edomites, they're the border of wickedness. When you see someone of the white race, that's the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, hath indignation forever. So the Most High says this, he has indignation, righteous anger against these people for all of the wickedness that's just polluting the earth. It's nothing but, just look around, nothing but wickedness everywhere. And that's a direct reflection of who's in charge, and that's the so-called white race. the Esau Edomites. Isaiah 24:20. So, and it shall and not rise again. Okay, that's all on that one. Isaiah 13:10. For the stars of heaven and the and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. Why not? Thermonuclear missiles. The sun shall be darkened, and in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And the chief wicked, Esau Edom. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And we know who's the most proud, Esau Edom. And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And that's Esau Edom there, the terrible of the earth. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So in these terrible times, that's about to immediately lead up to the thermonuclear missiles. A righteous man of the Lord, an elect man of the Lord, is going to be a safe haven for women that want that protection, because the elect men, the Most High deals with the men first and foremost, and any women that they have are going to be protected as well. But if a woman is married, but she believes and he doesn't believe, the marriage chapter of 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians chapter 7, the unbelieving husband is saved through the believing wife, and the unbelieving wife is saved through the believing husband. So, or if a woman doesn't have a husband and she finds a man of the Lord, then she'll be protected that way as well. Isaiah 13. Continuing on, where we at? Okay, 13. So therefore I will shake the heavens, that's through the thermonuclear missiles, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And that's the judgment day of Esau Edom, and all the wicked and the ungodly 2/3 Israelites that are following the ways of Esau Edom going to receive that thermonuclear destruction as well. Real quick, Isaiah 32 and verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. What wind? A thermonuclear wind. And a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place. So we know the Messiah said, he that believeth, let's go ahead and get it. John 7:38. Verse 38, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So right now we in a desert place. America, Babylon the Great, is a desert, is a spiritually dry place. And the only way you can get water is through the men of the Lord that has the understanding of the scriptures, through the Messiah, sending the Rachak with the Holy Spirit in his name to the elect men. And hopefully elect men that are called. Lord will, I'm of that number. But so that's that water that's going to be flowing in this desert place here in America. That because everyone is bugged out, don't know what's going on, and only the men that will receive the water from Yahawashi through the Most High power blessing will have that water. So that's that Isaiah 32 and 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So this is a dry place here in America, dry spiritually, with no water don't have the wisdom, the water of the wisdom of the everlasting Father and his only begotten Son. And this place is a weary land, because no one knows what's going on, and the truth has been gone for so long, but now it's back through the vessels of the Lord, the hopeful elect, that's holding the truth. that's holding the everlasting waters from the Messiah through Yahweh. Verse, let's see. Okay, from there we'll get Isaiah 34:4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. And that's why the thermonuclear fire is going to be so hot, going to dissolve the skies above. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And that scroll is rolled together, talking about that mushroom cloud. That's how it looks. You know, the prophet in the ancient times, Prophet Isaiah, he described it the best he could, but that's a mushroom cloud that he's describing. And all their, in the vision that he had received from the Yahweh, and all their hosts shall fall down. That host means armies, the armies of the wicked, of the heathen nations, chiefly Esau, Edom, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That sword going to the thermonuclear missiles. For my sword shall be bathed. You can't throw a sword that cuts. You can't throw it up in the sky all the way up there. You won't have any accuracy. You won't do any damage with it. So that's a thermonuclear sword. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So who is Idumea? Esau, Edom, he changes up his name all the time. So that's the Greek way of saying Esau or Edom. So right here, Idumea, and look at that word, Edom. So that's who that is. So Edom, it means red. So if you see a so-called white person wearing a white shirt or something, look at their skin. They're not red. They're not white. They're red. So Edomite, Idumean, descendants of Esau, land of Edom, Idumea, land south and southeast of Palestine. So lets you know that this is talking about Esau, Edom. The Most High is going to bring his sword, bring the thermonuclear missiles down upon Esau, Edom. And it shall, verse 5, it says, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So what person was cursed in the beginning? It was Cain. And this is a quick shortcut way to understand that, not shortcut, but just a quick reference to know who Cain is today. He was cursed in the beginning, and then he came back through regenerated through Esau, Edom. So now Esau, Edom is the cursed people, descendants of Cain and Esau. So basically, Cain is or the so-called white race grandfather, basically. So from there, verse 6, the sword of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, hath a sacrifice in Basra. And Basra is an ancient capital city of Esau, Edom, and now it's where the chief capital areas of Esau, Edom throughout the earth, and chiefly right now in Babylon the Great, like Washington D.C. and New York. Basra, sheepfold or fortress, a town in Edom. So that's the Edomites' fortress town, a fortified city. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. That's in the land of Esau, Edom. Wherever Esau, Edom is today, the vagabond that he is, that's where that great slaughter is going to occur. Revelations chapter 6 and verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. The thermonuclear missiles hitting the earth, making it toss to and fro and reel like a drunkard. And the sun became black. While all of that smoke, all of the destruction, going to blot out the sun for a period of time. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. and the moon became as blood. The stars of heaven fell into the earth. And the stars right here in this context talking about the leaders, the wicked leaders of the heathen Gentiles that's led by Esau Edom. Even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. This mighty wind here is talking about the thermonuclear wind, thermonuclear fire. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And that's the same scroll that Isaiah was talking about. That's the thermonuclear missiles, the same vision that John the Revelator here in Revelation that wrote the book of Revelations. He's seen the exact same thing and described it that way as well. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And that's because it's going to be so many, thousands of missiles hitting. So it's going to, as the scripture says, that the earth is going to cause that great earthquake and the earth to shake to and fro and places to remove. And it was a pretty terrifying judgment. So always keep the commandments to make your calling and election sure, and have the faith of Yahawashi. Verse 15, and the kings of the earth and the great men. So that's the elites, the leaders, and the great men. That's going into rich men and all the leaders throughout the earth and military men here, and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men. That goes into the soldiers, everything right here, and then the generals that lead the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. And this goes into those that will be trying to cloak themselves in these dungeons, because there's even celebrities and everyone, that people that can afford bunkers, they even have their own little versions of their bunkers, thinking that they're going to hide, like the Kardashians. They boasting about having bunkers. That's not going to mean nothing. That fire going to extend downward into the earth as well, and the rest, the hunters, which are the prophets that was turned from fishers to hunters through the Messiah guiding them, and at the orders of the Most High, they're going to go and pull those elites out of those holes and destroy them. Hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Those are those doomsday bunkers that they've been building for quite some time now, and got them throughout the earth, and a whole lot over here in America. The most bunkers are over here in America, if my memory serves me correct. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So they're trying to hide from Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahawashi. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So the answer is nobody, unless you have the elect, and the Most High have mercy upon you. So Isaiah 34:6. The sword of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. Oh, I read that already. I really had this for this part, but we'll go ahead and finish up. It says, for the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And that's what we were just reading, that we've been reading. And then in Revelation chapter 6, the great earthquake is going to be those thermonuclear missiles coming down. And then we'll get Isaiah 63 and verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? That's Edom's chief fortified cities, like Washington, and even the Europeans of NATO, European areas over there in Europe and Britain, and even to an extent Russia, because Russia will be the world superpower for a moment after they take out the America and NATO with the thermonuclear missiles. And then they're going, Putin or whoever will be the president of Russia will be in charge. It will be will be in power when the Messiah is there to take them down after they destroy America, Babylon the Great. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So this is the Messiah Yahawashi. He's coming from Edom, so-called wherever the Esau Edom is, and he's going to thoroughly destroy them. Verse 2: Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? And that's going to be blood on his garments. That's representing mass righteous killing of the Esau Edomites for their wickedness. Verse 3: I have trodden the winepress alone. Yahawashi coming and take care of business and doing it first and foremost on his own, when the Most High appoint the time for him to do so. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the heart goes to your mind, and the year of my redeemed is come. So the redeemed of the elect. So that's what's going to be happening all at the same time. Thermonuclear missiles dropping, the Messiah redeeming the elect, and then coming down and destroying the rest of the Edomites, the militaries of the earth. Revelations 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. That cloud is a buzzword for the chariots, so-called UFOs that they don't want to give proper acknowledgement to. See, Esau Edom. They don't want people to know that that's actually the clouds of the spirit of the angels. And then the Messiah, when he returns, he's going to be in the largest one. And that's why in that movie Independence Day, Will Smith did, they had that large, massive, extremely large UFO, so-called UFO. That's because the Messiah will be in one very large like that as well. But they're getting it from the scriptures. That's why they know. That's why it's so accurate with the scriptures, because Esau Edom, he reads the Bible, he knows what that's saying, and that's why he puts it in his movies, because he's just doing a foreshadowing. But most people don't know what that is. Don't know what that's about. It says, behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him. So all the people of the earth will see the Messiah return, and they also which pierced him. What is this going into? The Romans. Who are the modern day Romans? The so-called white race, so-called white people. No matter if they're Russian or whatever, they're a part of the ones that they're of the race that pierced the Messiah when they crucified him. Sheesh. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. But I thought it meant, wait a minute, I thought that Christianity said that the Most High loves everybody. So why is he sending the Messiah when Yahweh sends the Messiah to return? How come everybody's going to be crying and wailing? If the Messiah loves everybody, they should be happy, right? No, it's because the party is over and judgment is coming down, and their time is up, and the kingdom of heaven is about to officially begin forever and ever. Even so, Amen. So that's the scene. That's what's going to be going on. It's going to be a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth and crying and people wailing and sad because their party is up. Because they've been living in the house of mirth and joy all their life, living a riotous life for the heathen under Esau Edom. And now, the wise are in the house of mourning, because we hate the wickedness going on, this heathen lifestyle, because it's not righteous. Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So that's the chariots in the heavens, and everyone's going to be mourning and afraid and sad because their time of rulership is over. Christianity has lied to the people. It's not going to be the Messiah return and everybody going to live happily ever after in the kingdom of heaven. No, people got to get judged, and we got to have slaves to build up the kingdom of heaven. And then Yahawashi is going to rule forever and ever, and the Israelites with him, grounded and rooted in the commandments of the Most High. And the other heathen will be in subjection to the Israelites, to the Most High, Yahawashi, and the Israelites forever and ever. But it's going to be perpetual peace, unlike it is right now. So we go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 32. So, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. What signs? The prophecies, which I showed thee before. The Most High showed Ezra, the prophet, the prophecies of the end times as well. And this is, after those things happen, of those prophecies, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared. Who is that? Yahawashi, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. So this is a prophecy letting you know, this was prophesying, letting you know how the Messiah was going to leave when he came on the earth, during the time of the Roman Empire, when Yahawashi was walking the earth, and he was crucified, and he was resurrected, and then he left on a chariot when he got lifted in the air, and they watched him ascend. And I believe it's in Acts chapter 1. They saw him ascending, going up into one of the chariots, and he left and went to the fourth dimension to sit on the right-hand side, of the Almighty power Yahweh. So we'll get Revelations 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord Yahawashi, and of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. So that seventh trumpet is going to be completion. After that sixth trumpet is the thermonuclear missiles wiping out the Edomites, and then the Messiah is returning to take down the rest of the heathen armies, and then he's going to take all their crowns, and he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And it's going to be a infinite reign of peace after that. That's the King of Peace, to usher in that perpetual peace on earth. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High, the saints are the Israelites. We'll go ahead and get that real quick. The only saints are the Israelites. Psalm 148. No, 119. No, it's not it. Let's see, Psalms 50 and 5. Yeah. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Who's the only nation that was in the wilderness that made that covenant with the Most High? And who's the only nation that make those sacrifices to the Most High through the Levitical priesthood back in the day? The Israelites. So the only saints are the Israelites. Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So, Esau Edom, his judgment day is right around the corner, according to the prophecy and the signs and tokens like the Most High gave and told Ezra and all the prophets. They all were given visions of the end times, because the prophecies is all that matters, because the prophecies all that matter, because it's all about when the kingdom of heaven is coming. Because that's what the disciples asked the Messiah. He says, when shall the kingdom of heaven come? Because it's all about the kingdom of heaven. we're just going through this buffer zone right now of wickedness until perpetual infinite righteousness, is in the earth under the Most High power commandments and Yahawashi enforcing the commandments in righteousness. So with that, just go ahead and pray for forgiveness, repent, fast, and the elect will be of a surety blessed with salvation and not suffer the judgments. With that being said, I hope this video was edifying. To the next video, I say, Shalom.